I think one of the things that I've learned, especially like coming back to Europe after living in Japan for a long time, and now spending a lot of time in Japan again, I think we have a higher sensitivity here to direct feedback. And I think that, and I'm talking in the Japanese sense when you're saying this, right? When generally, if the sensei is mad at you, you'll tell from the tone of voice if they're kind of frustrated. But I don't think it comes from a place of anger for the most part. If they're really angry, they just stop talking to you. Just don't want to deal with that person. They just don't talk to you that much. In my experience, if you upset a teacher, they just put you into the you don't matter category. So they'll either just ignore you or they'll just be nice to you because they don't care about you. During the keiko, it's difficult because Japanese comes with lots of different intricacies that I think a lot of things can also be misunderstood, especially if you're like I don't even want to say a non-native speaker, but if you haven't grown up in their society, which I haven't, so it was very difficult for me as well. But I have experienced it differently because I have kids that have grown up in that environment, so I have seen it from a third perspective. But there's more to it than just what they're saying, it's how they're saying it as well is quite important. And just because if a sensei speaks to you in what would be considered a rude or frank way, it's not necessarily rude, it's just appropriate for the gap between you and the social hierarchy. And it's done to preserve the peace, which is quite important in Japanese society, right? So I think what's often misunderstood, and I did as well at first, is when they start speaking to you quite frankly and abruptly, it's because they feel closer to you. So it can be considered positive. It's not always. Sometimes maybe they're not being like that. But if a sensei starts to be more frank or more direct with you, it's more because they have a positive feeling towards you rather than a negative one. But from a Western perspective, that isn't always translated well. We sometimes take that as, I think because we've got high pride and high egos, well, we've been spoken to like that kind of thing. I know I was certainly like that at the beginning. It's an interesting thing. I think it's something that's worth considering if you do go and do Kendo in Japan and you understand some Japanese. It's quite a big thing, actually.